Well, today's project is a Husqvarna concrete saw. It has a little axle on the bottom part of this that raises it up and down. And what this is, it has a huge saw blade that goes on the side of this dude. It raises up with your little button right there. And then you hook a garden hose to it and water supply. And then you slowly let it cut into your concrete and then drive it forward really, really slowly. But the axle got down underneath there, has a little issue with it. And some of you guys have been following me for a really long time. Remember that I did a job with Chucky on one of his backhoes that he was trying to restore, or he did restore rather, that the main pin for the arm was messed up. And this company called Expander Pin does a really, really good job. Like, you just get this little form, you fill it out, you measure it, and they actually specially make and design a pin for your application in order to solve the problem of having to have it bore welded, line welded, and axle replaced or anything. So I'm gonna start this dude up, raise it up, and I'll show you what we're gonna fix. So the problem we have, this hydraulic ram that goes back down in there, it's supposed to slide on this pin back and forth. And what's happened is these little stop screws that are supposed to hold this pin from moving, this is a really dumb design. There's too much force on this. It's just gonna walk up and down, back and forth. And so now that does that. But we got a solution. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a socket, pull these bolts out, pop that pin out, and then show you the pin and setup that we're gonna use. All right, so I got that pin out. It was the booger grooved up in the center right there. So I used my old snap-on air hammer and welded a bolt to the end, and then used the air hammer on the bolt, and that popped it right out. So the expander pin, when you take the measurements on the form, it asks you how much gap you have on each side, how much clearance, and then they can kind of come up with a specific design for yours. And this is what they came up with. You can tell the end collars, they actually wedge out, and that holds, that takes up that worn out gap. Grease right there, shoots grease out the middle. And then the end is just basically a nut that draws it all together. So I got to take this apart, stick this collar, that nut through that hole right there, and then shove the rest of the pin in. Okay, and that's what it looks like installed. There is a torque spec on this. It comes with the instructions. Yours are going to be different, but I got my grease gun hooked up. We're going to shoot a little grease in it. There we go. You would think after being a YouTuber for like 5 or 6 years or however long I've been doing it, I would remember to finish my videos, but it's still a problem, and it probably always will be a problem, apparently. You saw the video where I put the expander pin in and it worked fantastic. And this is not the first one I've ever done. I think I've done 5 or 6 before. I've installed some for customers. I had some ordered. They've always been fantastic. And the guys that you contact, they're based in America. They're all English speakers. I've dealt with some companies before where you have to like order something and somebody just doesn't speak English, or doesn't speak the language, and it's just hard to get that communication back and forth. But these guys are amazing. They call you, or they at least call me. And at this particular point, when I reached out to them, I didn't even tell them who I was. I didn't tell them that I was Stephen Cox. I didn't say YouTuber. I did videos. I just called the number, gave my information. When they called back, the guy's like, "Hey, Steven, I remember you," and gave them. They sent me the form, filled it all out, sent it back, and within like a week, had what I needed. So if you guys need an expander pin for that, reach out to these guys. Just ask them. You can send them some pictures, some measurements, and they'll tell you, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for expander pin. Or they might tell you, no, this is not a good opportunity for expander pin. You need to do this. But give them a shot. They make excellent products. I've always been really impressed with them. There'll be some links down in the description for their website, and give them a try. And if you guys have ever tried them out before, leave it down in the comments. I want to know about it. And if you're planning on using it, again, leave it down in the comments. I like reading your guys' stories about working on equipment and what you're going to use it for. So I hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get out and fix it.